How do you feel about being fooled? How do you feel about people who pretend to be what they are not? During the writing process, at times you will find groups of words pretending to be sentences, but they are not. These word groups will be punctuated and capitalized as if they are sentences. They may even have a subject and a verb, but a closer examination will reveal that they are actually not sentences. This lesson will help you to identify these sentence fragments and correct them. Sentence fragments are groups of words that do not express a complete thought. They are only part of a sentence. These are fine to use in conversations, but they are not accepted when it comes to any kind of academic or formal writing. To successfully identify sentence fragments, we need to be able to recognize complete sentences. What is a complete sentence? In short, a complete sentence expresses a complete thought with a person, place, or thing performing an action. Remember that. With that in mind, when a group of words is missing important information, it no longer expresses a complete thought and may therefore be equal to that of a fragment. A sentence has two characteristics. It has a subject and a predicate, and it expresses a complete and independent thought. If either of these characteristics are missing from a group of words written as a sentence, the result is an error called a sentence fragment. These fragments may come in many different types. So let's go through a few. Look out for dependent word fragments. ing and to fragments. And those fragments in which you have to add a subject or a predicate. Dependent word fragments. Some word groups begin with dependent words. These are words such as after, although, as if, because, before, even if, even though, how, if, in order to, since, so, and many more. These sometimes begin words group and are sneakily punctuated like sentences. Here is an example. We do research on the internet whenever we plan to make a major purchase. The word group in bold is a fragment. It does not express a complete thought. If someone walks into a room full of people and shouts, "Whenever we plan to make a purchase," everyone will be confused. You know why, right? That person will not be making complete sense. How do we correct this? One of the ways to correct this dependent word fragment is to attach it to the sentence that comes before or after it. For example, we do research on the internet whenever we plan to make a major purchase. Note, if the dependent word group had come first, we would have needed to use a comma. Let's look at another example. While some students work very hard, others try to get by with a minimum of effort. The word group highlighted is not a sentence. It is a fragment. A correct version is, while some students work very hard, others try to get by with a minimum of effort. Another option for correction is to eliminate the dependent word when rewriting the sentence. Here is an example. On his way to work, Bill took a shortcut, which he thought would enable him to avoid traffic lights and get him to the office faster. Do you see the fragment? Let's eliminate the dependent word which and see how it turns out. On his way to work, Bill took a shortcut to avoid traffic lights and get to the office faster. What do you think? Looks better and sounds better, right? Now for ing and to fragments. Ing words at or near the start of a word group, often a participle phrase, can be problematic. For example, the astronomer gazed intently through the telescope, hoping to catch a glimpse of the star. Do you see an ing word beginning a word group? There it is. Look out for those. This word group is a fragment. Then there are those to plus verb expressions at or near the start of word groups. They can also be fragments. Look out for them too. Here's an example. In an effort to get to the airport on time, we left home at 4 o'clock in the morning. Do you see the fragment? There it is. How do we correct these? To correct ing and to plus verb fragments, we have to attach the fragment to the sentence that comes before or after it. Like this. The sentence, the astronomer gazed intently through the telescope, hoping to catch a glimpse of the star, becomes the astronomer gazed intently through the telescope, hoping to catch a glimpse of the star. The correction can also be done by adding a subject or verb to the fragment to make it a sentence. For example, the astronomer gazed intently through the telescope. He was hoping to catch a glimpse of the star. Then there are those word groups which we will have to add details to. They sometimes lack a subject or a verb, and you have to add either of those to make them sentences. There are some common words and phrases which can lead to these fragments. It is helpful to know them. Words such as especially, except, for example, including, not even, particularly, such as, and more, at times set off fragments. Here are two examples. All software in the store is on sale, except video games. And several basic courses are required for graduation. Among them, English composition, an introductory maths course, and one general science course. Did you spot the fragment? Again, the best way to correct these fragments is by attaching them to the sentence that comes before or after it. For example, all software in the store is on sale except video games. Next, several basic courses are required for graduation. Among them are English composition, an introductory maths course, and one general science course. And lastly, look out for those fragments in which we have to add a subject or a verb to make them complete. We know that the subject is a person, place, thing, or idea, or the doer of the action. There are times when you will have to change the verb form to fit the subject. For instance, running fast down the hall is a fragment. The verb form will have to be adjusted to fit the sentence. So, let us add a subject because it is missing a subject and adjust the verb to fit the sentence. Here it is. He was running fast down the hall. If the main verb is missing in the predicate, we will need to add a verb for the subject or doer to perform. For instance, the word group, mainly the passage of time, is a fragment. It is missing a verb. This can be corrected by adding a verb. For example, mainly the passage of time quickened. Keep an eye out for fragments when you are writing and in the editing process. A simple strategy is to reread and manipulate fragments to make them complete sentences. I think you're on your way to a better grade.